What would you do if you saw a big squid? Like, a really big squid? Do you, like me, read with a hint of skepticism stories about humans meeting unknowably powerful entities? Lovecraftian horrors, alien abductions, encounters with angels? You might think, surely, I won't be driven mad. I'm made of stronger stuff. I will just imagine the horrors. And honestly, I believe you. I think you will handle that cosmic horror just fine, dear viewer. Sadly, I'll never get to prove it. Real life has few examples of cosmic horror. That which confounds us is rarely intelligent. That which dwarfs us rarely hates us. That is, if you are human. But for a fish, this is the norm. That which you cannot eat is likely to eat you. Your instincts have taught you how to evade unknown threats. Move faster, stay in groups, eat your fill to outgrow anything else. You'll stay alive this way. Probably. But you'll never understand. You have no schema for understanding, for learning. The moment you meet the unknown, your instincts will fail and you'll be left with nothing. If you have the luxury of choosing at all, your choices will be made in the dark. Today, we will be talking about the 2022 indie horror game, How Fish is Made. If you ask anyone else, they might tell you that this is a game about death or the choices we make in life. But I promise, if you stay with me, I'll convince you that it's more interestingly about fish. Sometimes a cigar is just a wrasse. Which is convenient, as our first fishy friend lacks pretension and urges us to do the same. This will be a game about choice. Every fish has to answer the same simple question to themselves. Up or down? Would you like more information than that? Don't kid yourself. Little fish like us only have each other for answers. None knows more than you do, and the machine doesn't talk. But lack of knowledge is not lack of wisdom. Perhaps the others might have some insight. They've been here longer than us, after all. Our next fish is certain of his instincts. The only option is up. Or rather, instincts is a misnomer. As he justifies, the water is wrong, the flesh has it wrong, everything goes up, up, up in the end. He is invoking what is known and familiar to fish and rejecting it. What nature has taught us cannot help us in the belly of the machine. Our intuitions are useless in an unintuitive place. So perhaps up is the way out, as down is what got us here in the first place? Well, let's not rely on the guidance of a single other. It's our choice to make, not theirs. Let's see who's next. The third fish is notably laying in a throne of six-pack rings. Compared to the last, he is more self-assured, confident that our upward friend is a fool, that our true path is downwards. Can he explain his reasoning? Why bother? It's not like you'd understand. Although, for that matter, I'm not sure he does either. His constant misnomers make me think he's not speaking his own words, that he's heard them somewhere, knowing where they go, but not what they mean. This is dogma, but from whom? Another fish? That wouldn't explain his throne. Has the machine spoken to him? Or rather, the one who made it? These rings are infamous for their ability to choke sea life, getting mistaken for jellyfish and swallowed by sea turtles. An unintended but deadly deception. It does not bode well for this fish's sanity that he cannot see the trap after having already fallen in it. Perhaps this is why we've been warned that the machine cannot speak. Not so much a factual truth, but a pragmatic truth. It can speak, but its words will drive us mad. But we should keep listening to other fish, to see if they have better insight. Our fourth friend is reticent to speak with us. Instead of advice, he has a dilemma. Go up with the family, or go down with his best bud. The family means safety, as fish need their schools. It's as instinctual as breathing to a fish. But his family was never so close. It was his friend who was always there for him. This is what his personal memories have to say. But would he always be? Is he being a good friend right now by putting him in this predicament? From the position of a fish, this is a conflict between instinct and lived experience. If we want to get anything out of these conversations with other fish, We will need to understand what matters to a fish epistemically. For now, we will be his tiebreaker. He should go with his instincts. A single friend does not make a school, and he will need every family member to survive. His relief with our answer is tinged with fear. He is overwhelmed with the guilt of questioning his family's judgment. This is not the response of someone from a loving family. Oh dear. Perhaps we shouldn't send him back to that. Let's try this again. Instead, he should go with his own lived experience. We have to ask ourselves, do fish usually make friends? My research has been inconclusive. Some aquarists claim to have inseparable fish, even across species, but I found little hard evidence either way. As for sardines specifically, it's even harder to research. Human interest in these guys only extends to their nutritional value, so to answer the question, either this is the proof we need of sardine higher intelligence, or a rare anomaly worth treasuring and preserving. Oh dear, he too holds a grudge. Sorry, new fish friend. It seems your issues are too complex to be unwound by a passerby. May you find your resolve before you reach the end of this machine. As for us, we must pass through the esophagus. Things will continue to get more surreal. Until now, the machine has been literal in its design. A fish trap followed by a vent, as if the fish has been caught and is being processed for market. But fish can't understand this. Perhaps this is how they conceptualize the parts they can't directly comprehend. Perhaps they are experiencing a machine as alien to us as it is to them. Is there really a difference to the fish passing through? It all ends up in the same place. Speaking of, have you heard of Duchamp's fountain? An infamous sculpture depicting a urinal put into a gallery to challenge the meaning of what can count as art over 100 years ago. For our purposes, Duchamp's fountain represents the most famous example of the Dadaist movement, an artistic sensibility that came about post-World War I, mocking both high and low art, for neither could fully reckon with the full atrocities of World War. I believe how Fish is Made comes from this tradition, with its absurdist imagery in the face of the inconceivable. But as more recent movements like surrealism or postmodernism have captured these visuals, we will need something far more crass to signify our return to tradition. Meet fish number 5, who flounders in awe at the display in front of us, trying to find higher meaning in what it can't even comprehend the functional meaning of. As fish intimacy is not so intimate, they release into the water column. Human contraceptive would neither be useful nor desirable. Thus, he interprets it like a piece of abstract art. All it knows is that the fish inside is more at peace than the fish outside. Even without stating it directly, we know he understands what death is, as this is the fear at the heart of every fish's anxiety. He asks us what we think this object means, and I think is telling us up. That's the direction this dead fish would need to move if it was to escape its fate. His conclusion? It tells us down is the way, as that is how to enter. Which I suppose makes sense if your goal is the, substance. Teach their own, I suppose. Let's keep going. The lights in this next hallway move towards us like meat hooks. Are we going against the current? Mustn't be, as this is the only way forward. Fish number 6 is the most tragic. Trapped in the gear, he insists that we can save him, not understanding the nature of the mechanical beast. He tried cheating his way out of the up and down. I wouldn't blame him, as not choosing is itself a choice, except that he's forced the same predicament onto us. But what is a helpless sardine to do? There is but one way forward. Don't make this difficult for us both. Had we a second button, we might press it instead. But we aren't here to explore if one fish can care for another. This isn't about morality. We are here to make blind choices. If you can't offer us that, then there's only one thing we can offer you. Up ahead is something brilliant. A doorway covered in indistinct organs. Not quite lungs, not quite intestines. The red glands below each invoke the imagery of paper lanterns. We, the human viewers, are now aligned with the fish, staring at something we don't fully understand, equally disgusting and beautiful. Sometimes cosmic horror can be as much about what lies beneath us as above, the minuscule things beyond our understanding that our existence is predicated upon nonetheless. Functionally, this would be a sphincter, as we are now in a large, flooded room full of undigested fish matter and lotus seed pods. Later, we will find that the lotus seeds direct themselves to the player, but here they are silent. This is a stomach, and all barriers between player, character, meat, machine, fish, and human dissolve. We'd better pass on quickly while we still have some semblance of self left, from which we pass up the chute to the inside of a paper box. Forewarning for those who retch at the sight of live, wriggling parasites. This next section will be uneasy. You may skip ahead to the time listed, or better yet, close your eyes and let my voice carry you there. I'll let you know when it's safe to open them. I said the sixth fish is the most tragic, and that is still true if tragedy stems from poor choices. But if it instead stems from inevitability, then fish 7 wins the wretched award. He has a hanger-on. This isopod, the dreaded tongue-eating louse, has lived up to its name, now speaking for itself and for its friend. On top of talking, it sings. If you, dear viewer, live in a place of clean drinking water, you probably don't often worry about parasites. But that isn't normal. Most critters are not so lucky. Parasitic worms alone outnumber their vertebrate hosts 15 to 1. A fish can't boil clean water without boiling itself. All they can do is live with it, because this is their normal. What's special here is that our fish at least gets to learn why it's happening. They can't look inside their own meat, understand the wriggling pain. So these facts are a revelation of an underlying issue they've always dealt with. But for the human viewer, our relationship to parasites is very different. We've largely eliminated them, but not without cost. There are new issues abound. At least, most parasites don't wish to kill their hosts. Even if they could be removed, there are new issues abound. Struggle to breathe during pollen season? Maybe around pet dandruff? Does someone you know have diabetes? Your body has developed tools to fend off parasites. And when those parasites aren't present, they misfire, targeting innocuous materials to give us allergies. If they target our own tissues, we get autoimmune diseases. Even in absence, parasites do us harm. Even if this louse left the fish, he would still be without a tongue. Ultimately, this is another form of up and down, with humans and fish both making their choices in ignorance. And here is the one who caused the predicament, giving us the information we need, but not the tools to make that choice. Or so we think, until after the choice has already been made. Good luck. If you got all that, the louse cheerfully implies it's infected you during the song. If you didn't, well, it clearly doesn't think much of you. Comedically blunt little thing. We should leave, but not at his behest. The answers he's here to give aren't to the questions we are asking. Parasite or no parasite tells us nothing about up or down. If you close your eyes, you are now safe to open them again. The next hallway looks like the inside of a chest cavity. Not a place a fish belongs, even an eaten one, and yet we are guided along a path laid out in bone, up to a basin full of dead fish. I can only guess that this is for pressing them into oil. But even this is speculation that raises more questions than it answers. Lingering won't help us make our choice. Best keep moving. More lotus seed pods. They speak. To us? Is this what the first fish warned us against? He said that the machine can't talk to you. These words aren't meant for the fish. They are for the player. calling out the human behind the screen for not committing to their choice, knowing you will go back to find out what the other option holds, removing yourself from the stakes, fracturing your relation to the fish in front of you. After all, to the player, this is all information on the screen. If you look up the outcome of a choice, it's the same as making that choice. If you look up the outcome of all choices, then you haven't made a choice. The same isn't true for our sardine. If they could view each outcome, they'd still have to commit to one, to fully experience it. At minimum, we can commit to only viewing one outcome, at least for the moment, to get a glimpse of the fish's experience. Personally, I wouldn't lay it on so harshly. It's human nature to be curious, but our sardine lacks the context for this information. If its words could be repeated, they would not be understood. And now, our 8th fish has words for us, player and character both, but only after we make our choice. Was that it? No, we are still here. It's not yet. This was a test. He just wants to remind us that it is ultimately up to us to choose. Nothing our previous encounters have imparted can control our conclusions. We can either proudly pick for ourselves, or give in to the despair that our options are meaningless, that a blind choice is no choice at all. Of course, he is just a fish in an imposing room. Funnily enough, in my research into others' analyses, none have acknowledged the Rorschach of fish guts above the next doorway. The symbol, whose meaning is in the eye of the beholder, is beheld by no eye. What do you see in it? I see the tongue-eating louse. Anyways, we turn the corner and meet our 9th and final fish. He is large, and he has been waiting a very long time, counting each fish that goes each way. If we ask him, he will tell us. 199 fish have gone up, and 474 have gone down. The aforementioned despair hits him. None of that matters. Not one of the 673 fish to have come before him have had the least bit of insight over him. But maybe he can pass on some insight to us, breaking the cycle by going the way we pick, then shouting back what he sees, giving us something by which to pick. A noble but fruitless gesture. Both ways lead to the same conclusion. It feels soft, followed by nothing. That's all we have to work from. Now, there's no more fish. We flop alone to our preferred fate. We won't have much time on the other side, so permit me my closing statements here. What I adore about video games is their ability to force the player to make interesting decisions, and through this, make them sympathize with people in very different situations through inhabiting the decisions those kinds of people have to make. No other medium can achieve this. What better way is there to inhabit the powerless than joining them in making an impossible choice? By thinking like a fish, not a human in a fish body, we have understood that cosmic horror rests at home. We are just on the other side of the abyss. You might be wondering which way we are going, but the observant will notice my bias towards up. If you want to go down, the game is free on Steam. Go try it for yourself. One last thing before we see what's up. I hope I've imparted on you some understanding towards the suffering fish go through. But to be clear, I don't want your guilt. I'm not PETA. I'm not here to make vegans. Nor do I want to diminish your suffering by shining a light on those who suffer more. You are smarter than a fish, right? Maybe your pain is more profound, somehow. Come on, let's find out our reward. We have merged with the other uppers. Their minds and ours are one. Horrifying? This is normal for a sardine. The tiny minds can work such beautiful spatial maths in aggregate. Each one just needs to choose up or down, and anything is possible for the group. Still feel more profound than a fish? I've left one last paper down for you in the description. Like or subscribe if you choose. I have more code to write.